Waco, Texas. This is the site of the Branch Davidian compound, or what is left of it after the massacre. This is something I remember. I remember the day this all went down. It was national news, big time. There's not much left now. They're still maintaining it as a historical site. And you can go in, you can see the foundation still in the ground from the buildings that got burned up. And apparently they still meet here in a small church and do Bible studies and church services. But this is kind of an interesting thing. It calls to mind the question of just how responsible is the government for protecting people from those who teach things apart from what they find comfortable. I think that on the one hand, it makes sense that people should be free to seek God any way they see fit, as long as they're not hurting others. That's part of our American way, part of our constitutionally protected rights. But I can also see, because I'm just a little bit older than a lot of you, and I remember Jonestown. Jonestown was kind of another situation that was a little bit similar to this. I remember Jimmy Jones when I was, in junior high school. He was a very, very famous preacher. He influenced a lot of people to join his church really rapidly. And he was so successful and gathered so many followers that they bought an island and moved out there so that they could worship as they pleased. And the government did pretty much the same thing. They surrounded the island, they had ships, they were surveilling it, they were flying over with helicopters all the time. And of course, Jimmy Jones, he was a little bit crazy. He was on drugs. And he basically told everybody to drink some poison Kool-Aid, and it was a massacre. Very few people survived that, and that was self-imposed. Well, the government, of course, didn't want anything like that to happen again. And so they were constantly harassing David Koresh and the Branch Davidian compound. They were auditing them and having raids and so forth. There's even a movie about it you can watch. I haven't watched the movie. I intend to someday. But basically, they didn't want another Jonestown situation. And so they preemptively, apparently, harassed and raided this compound, and a lot of people died. And of course, I'm sure they've got their story and their evidence and so forth, and it all comes down to which you believe. Do you believe that the government is here to protect us from ourselves, or do you believe people should be free even in the face of increased potential danger? What is your freedom worth? That is the question. How free do you want to be? This is Max Headspace 9mm, and I leave you with those thoughts.